There are objects on this earth, sacred, hidden, and unseen, that ordinary eyes will never recognize. They might look ordinary, forgotten, lost, but to the chosen ones, they shine like divine keys from another realm. These are not just objects. They are spiritual markers, portals of transformation, each one charged with the frequency of heaven itself. When the world sees trash, the chosen see prophecy. They're not made for the masses. They weren't meant to be found by the curious. Only those marked, those called by the Most High, can truly see these objects for what they are. And when they do, everything begins to shift. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 9 objects of power that only God's chosen ones are destined to find. Each one is a sign, a divine signal. If you've ever come across even one of these, listen to me carefully. You are not ordinary. You never were. But before we continue, take a moment and tap the like button if your spirit is stirred already, and comment 1111 below. Why 1111? Because it's the number of alignment, divine order, spiritual awakening. And by declaring it, you're not just watching this video, you're stepping into it. Let's begin. 1. The ancient key. It never looks powerful at first. Sometimes it's found in an old journal, forgotten drawer, or even in a dream that won't leave your mind. Rusty, faded, unimpressive to the average person, but to the chosen, it calls. It's not the object itself that holds power. It's the timing of its appearance. The ancient key shows up when something sacred is about to unlock, when a hidden truth is ready to be revealed, when a door that's been sealed for years, sometimes generations, is finally preparing to open. The world teaches you to search for answers in logic, systems, and noise. But the ancient key defies all of that. It whispers in silence. It appears when you're still. And it only reveals itself to those who have been walking in obedience, even when no one was watching. This key is not found. It finds you. And when it does, nothing is ever the same again. You begin to see patterns in chaos, messages in the mundane, instructions encoded in the moments everyone else skips over. Because this is what the ancient key does. It doesn't just unlock a door, it unlocks you. And if you've held this key even once, you've already begun to change dimensions. But be warned, for every door it opens, something sacred is released, and not everyone will celebrate what you become. Still want to keep watching? Good. Because the next object isn't just rare. It breaks chains the enemy never wanted you to see. 2. The broken chain. It doesn't shimmer like gold. It doesn't demand your attention. In fact, you might have dismissed it the first time you saw it, in a dream, tucked inside a dusty box, or as a fleeting vision during deep prayer. But then it comes back, and this time, you feel it. The broken chain is not just a symbol. It's a spiritual revelation, a divine announcement that something your ancestors couldn't break, you just did. You weren't born to carry the weight. You were chosen to end it, the abuse, the poverty, the addiction, the silence, the shame. This chain was forged in darkness, passed down like a cursed inheritance through bloodlines and behaviors. But when it snaps, when the link finally gives way, it's not because you fought harder, it's because heaven authorized your freedom. And here's the mystery. Most people see the chain and try to repair it. They think the breaking is a problem. But the chosen ones know, what breaks you free doesn't need to be fixed. You weren't called to continue cycles. You were anointed to destroy them. So if you've seen this chain, especially in dreams where it cracks, falls, or dissolves, you're not just being shown something symbolic, you're being handed proof. You are the curse breaker. But freedom is never quiet. When the chain breaks, the spirits that held it notice, and they will come for what was stolen from them. Are you ready for what happens after the chain breaks? Because the next object is not about what you break. It's about what heaven reveals when you're finally ready to see. 3. The hidden scroll. It never arrives with thunder. It doesn't shout. It whispers. You're scrolling through a page, and a single verse stabs you in the heart. You open a book at random, and one sentence burns into your spirit like it was written just for you. You hear a line in a conversation, a lyric, a message, and something inside you freezes. That's the hidden scroll. It doesn't look ancient. It doesn't come wrapped in gold. But to the chosen ones, it's louder than a trumpet. Because when the hidden scroll shows up, you're not just reading words, you're receiving revelation. God hides his instructions in plain sight, not because he's playing games, but because he only reveals secrets to those who are ready to carry them. The hidden scroll is the moment where knowledge becomes activation, where you stop asking for answers and start becoming the answer. This is why the same verse that thousands read daily hits you like lightning, because he's not just speaking to the masses, he's speaking to you. When the hidden scroll appears, it's not information, it's a mission. A divine download wrapped in mystery, sent with surgical precision to awaken something that was sleeping inside your spirit. And once it's revealed, you can't unsee it. You can't return to who you were 5 minutes before, because now you're accountable. You've been shown too much, trusted with too much, but revelation always comes with a price. What you do with the scroll determines what heaven does next. And just when you think you're ready, the next object shows up to test not what you know, but what you're willing to hear. 4. The silent trumpet. There is a moment where everything around you is loud, but something inside you goes still. You could be standing in a crowd, sitting in traffic, scrolling through chaos, and then suddenly, it hits. A silence that roars louder than the world itself. This is the silent trumpet. It's not made of metal. It doesn't release a sound you can hear with your ears, but your spirit hears it. And when it blows, everything changes. It's not a suggestion. It's not inspiration. It's a summoning. The silent trumpet marks the exact second heaven declares, now it's time. Time to rise. Time to walk. Time to carry what you were born to carry. Most people feel the silence and call it emptiness. But the chosen ones know this isn't emptiness. It's the void before creation. The space where God forms something out of nothing. This trumpet doesn't sound like war. It sounds like peace that terrifies you. Peace that strips away everything fake, everything shallow, everything you thought was you, and leaves behind only the calling. And here's the truth most never hear. When the silent trumpet blows, you lose things. You lose comfort. You lose distractions. You lose the luxury of pretending you don't know who you are. Because now, you do. You've heard the sound no one else can hear. And once that sound echoes in your soul, you can't go back to being who the world wanted you to be. You've just been summoned. And the next object waiting for you will show you a name that was never spoken on earth. 5. The stone with no name. It doesn't shine. It doesn't speak. It doesn't scream for attention. It could be a small object, a smooth stone in your pocket, a piece of jewelry that feels heavier than it should, or a symbol that follows you in dreams over and over again. To the world, it's meaningless. But to the chosen, it calls something ancient from deep within. This is the stone with no name. It's not blank because it's empty. It's blank because it holds a name that no human has ever spoken. Not your parents, not your teachers, not even you. This stone carries the name heaven gave you before time began, a name that isn't in any language, a name that can't be pronounced, only felt. And when you come into contact with it, you begin to feel the unraveling. Everything you thought you were starts falling away, because the chosen don't discover who they are by looking around them. They discover it by remembering who they were before the world told them to forget. The stone. with no name is a quiet confrontation. It doesn't tell you what to do. It dares you to remember. Remember the fire, the silence, the feeling you had as a child when the world didn't yet infect your spirit, the dreams you buried under survival. This stone isn't just an object. It's the weight of identity, the confirmation that you were never meant to fit in because you were called to stand apart. And once you sense that name, even if you can't say it, you'll never answer to what the world calls you again. Because when heaven whispers your real name, earth's labels lose all power. But identity always attracts resistance. And the next object, it's been collecting. Every tear, every battle, every hidden moment, for such a time as this. 6. The sealed bottle. You may have seen it in a dream. A bottle, glass or clay, sealed tight. Sometimes it glows with oil. Sometimes it flickers with light. Other times, it's filled with tears. Not just yours, generations of them. This is I, the sealed bottle. And it does not belong to the world. It belongs to the chosen. This bottle is sacred, not because of what it holds, but because of what it survived. Every time you were broken and didn't give up, a drop was sealed. Every night you cried but still chose obedience, it was captured. Every act of faith you made in silence, with no applause, no recognition. Heaven recorded it, because the chosen ones don't wear crowns on their heads. They carry bottles in their spirits. And these bottles, they are not fragile. They are fortresses, in disguise. The oil inside, it's your anointing, refined by fire, tested through storms, preserved when everything else around you was falling apart. This is why some people can't understand your strength. They didn't see what was being sealed. You were being preserved, not punished. And here's the mystery most miss. When the time comes, the bottle will break, and everything inside will pour out with power. Your words will carry oil. Your presence will carry light. Your journey, your very tears, will heal others. You've been walking around with a sealed bottle inside you. But what happens when heaven decides it's time to open it? Because the next object isn't about what's inside you. It's about the vision that's been chasing you since the day you were born. 7. The burning feather. It's delicate, unexpected, soft, but supernatural. It may appear as a single feather on your path after a moment of deep prayer, a glowing sign in a dream, or a vision that leaves you trembling because you know you didn't imagine it. This is the burning feather, and it's not a coincidence. It's not decoration. It's divine confirmation. To most, it's just a feather. But to the chosen, it's the fingerprint of heaven, a mark that an angel passed through, that the spiritual realm just intervened, that you were not alone, even when you felt abandoned. The feather burns, not with fire, but with presence. It radiates peace, yet leaves you shaken. Because when the burning feather appears, something holy is near. This is not symbolic, it's strategic. It shows up in the moments you almost gave up, in the prayers you whispered when no one else was listening, in the rooms where you cried silently, asking God if he even heard you anymore. And then, the feather. You don't touch it. It touches you. Your spirit reacts before your mind understands. You sense a shift, a divine nearness, because this isn't just about angels watching, it's about heaven moving. The burning feather is the evidence. That intervention is underway, that help has already been dispatched, that something bigger is walking with you. Now, and if you've seen it, you've been marked, not just for protection, but for assignment. But heavenly presence always brings new instruction. And the next object waiting in your journey will test if you can hold power without becoming pride. 8. The hidden cloak. You didn't survive by being the loudest. You survived because no one saw you coming. There were moments you should have been exposed, attacked, destroyed, but you weren't. Why? Because you were wrapped in something invisible, something divine. This is the hidden cloak. It doesn't look like armor. It doesn't shine like a sword, but it is more powerful than both. To the chosen, the hidden cloak appears in strange ways. A dream where you walk unseen through danger. A sudden sense of spiritual covering when you enter dark places. A moment where you feel an enemy's eyes pass right over you. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's God's stealth mode. And it activates in the lives of those who carry heavy assignments. Because when you're chosen, you don't always get to fight like everyone else. Sometimes your victory is in being undetectable, invisible to the traps, unreachable by the weapons. You've walked through places that should have broken you, but the hidden cloak wrapped you in silence, shielded you from gossip, from spiritual attacks, from people who tried to study you just to sabotage you. And here's the secret few understand. When God covers you, even your enemies forget your name. They lose the scent. They miss the moment. They turn their weapons toward the wrong direction, because the hidden cloak has made you vanish in plain sight. But this cloak doesn't just protect, it positions. It places you in the exact spot where destiny unfolds, without the noise, without the spotlight, without the sabotage. And now, something is shifting, because cloaks are temporary. And when they lift, what's been hidden must be revealed. And that's when the final object appears, not to protect, but to ignite. 9. The mirror that shows the spirit. It's not glass. It doesn't reflect what the world sees. In fact, when you look into it, it's almost like there's nothing there at all. But then, in that stillness, the veil lifts. You don't see yourself the way you've always seen yourself. You don't see your flaws, your age, your mistakes. You see who you were born to be. This is the mirror that shows the spirit. It's not about vanity. It's not about external beauty or human success. This mirror strips all of that away and reveals something far more powerful: your divine identity. The chosen don't look into this mirror and see a reflection of their past. They see the mission God placed inside them. It's not about what you've done. It's about what you were meant to do. And in this moment, you stop seeing a person trying to survive. You see a warrior destined to change everything. It's overwhelming, terrifying, and yet peaceful. Because in this mirror, all doubts and fears are swallowed by a single truth. You were created for this. This isn't a moment of pride. It's a moment of surrender. The chosen ones don't just recognize who they are. They recognize what God has placed in them to do. The reflection in this mirror doesn't just show you. It shows your destiny. And the moment you see it, nothing is ever the same. Because the truth you glimpse, the mission you uncover, it's so big, so terrifying, that the only thing left to do is step into it. But stepping into your purpose, it's going to require something more than sight. It will demand action. The next step will test if you truly believe what you just saw. Everything you've just heard wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't a collection of random objects. These are spiritual keys, hidden signs, marked by heaven itself, showing you that you are not ordinary. The chosen ones don't walk through life by chance. They are set apart, prepared, anointed for moments like this. If you've encountered even one of these divine objects, it means you are a part of something much bigger. You are not just watching this video. You are waking up. You are called to something unseen, something unshakable, something uncontested. The world may overlook you. The enemy may try to confuse you, but you are not here by accident. You were born for this. Now, it's your turn. Comment below. I've seen the signs. Let's see how many chosen ones are awakening across the earth. It's time to rise, to declare